The Supreme Court has now in fact issued fresh notification. In fact, let's take a look at what the latest revelations from the Supreme Court and requirements and demands are concerned. Well, there is a technical glitch. We will try to get that sorted, of course. Breaking news, Air India has finally issued an official statement over reports of its pilots testing positive in drug tests. The airline has stated that it voluntarily undertook a testing program covering all its pilots, going beyond the existing regulatory requirements. Air India stated that the initiative is in line with its commitment to safety and professionalism. The airline has said the testing process is still underway and has urged media and other stakeholders to refrain from speculation or reporting based on unverified information. Air India has also added that any assessment should be made only after the testing process is completed and verified facts are available. My colleague Atul Ranjan with me on the broadcast. Atul, over to you. What's the latest statement coming in from Air India?
Reports and speculations and commentaries that we were hearing regarding Air India's pilots testing positive one after the other. Now finally we get to hear from Air India, which has finally broken its silence, and the statement that Air India has issued says that Air India has voluntarily undertaken a testing program, which is something which was not mandated or asked by the DGCA or the which is the the aviation regulator in the country, but it is our unwavering commitment and professionalism that nudged us to do so. Now Air India also further says that as the process of testing is ongoing, we urge media and other stakeholders to refrain from any sort of speculations and reporting based on unverified assessment. Assessment that is something which should be avoided. So this comes after yesterday. In fact, the news that we got from sources was that at least 2 more Air India pilots had tested positive for dope in their preliminary test that was conducted, and this obviously follows the positive result of the Air India captain of the Phuket Delhi flight of August 4 as well. Now that took the number to 3, which was certainly getting a lot of bad press for Air India, and Air India had maintained silence all this while. But that is now Air India has responded, and it has said that despite the fact that DGCA mandates only 10% of the cabin crews and pilots supposed to be tested throughout the year for dope, we are voluntarily have initiated this testing process, and that is something which should be appreciated and not should be subjected to any sort of unverified speculation, is what Air India has said. So certainly an effort towards controlling the damage that has already been done for the airline.
Absolutely. Stay with us, Atul. We're also being joined by Mr. Mark Martin, aviation expert. Thank you so much, sir, for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX. Of course, Air India maintaining that it has launched a voluntary comprehensive drug testing program covering all pilots across Air India and Air India Express. This, of course, comes following the incident on the 4th of August where a Phuket Delhi flight encountered an abrupt altitude drop leading to positive marijuana test results for the pilot in command and subsequent preliminary test failures for 2 additional pilots as well. How crucial in light of this is this particular program that Air India has now exercised, and should this be a regular occurrence?
Just to clarify, and just to put it out there, Air India is only one of the many airlines we have. We're not talking about this and Indigo. Indigo hasn't taken a step to do voluntary testing for dope testing or testing for narcotic substances. We haven't done, SpiceJet hasn't initiated this voluntary testing of dope or narcotics or psychotropic substances. Let me be very, very clear with you. This is the tip of the iceberg. What Air India done is voluntarily taken a step to ensure they comply. This is just the beginning, guys. We're going to see this go worse. When I dare and I challenge Indigo to do the same exercise that Air India has done. Air India has been a step ahead by saying, no, we're not going to have this in our airline. We want to check everybody, and they've done the right thing. Is Indigo doing this? Will Akasa do this? Will SpiceJet do this? Will Star Air do this? Are the other airlines going to do this? I challenge them. And I'll tell you one thing. This, like I said, is the tip of the iceberg. this goes way, way more deep. We're only talking about narcotic substances and marijuana. You know, we're not talking about antidepressants. We're not talking about sleeping pills. We're not talking about other psychotropic substances. I'll tell you, and I'll say this on record, because we do, as part of our safety work, we audit airlines. I know a lot of pilots. I know how deep this problem is. Mental health in the airline industry is one of the biggest concerns across the globe, and I see no reason why India should be kept out of it, because mental health affects India possibly more than what it affects other markets in Europe and the US. And it's not just with pilots. Are we also testing flight attendants? Are we checking pursers? Are we checking cabin crew? Are we checking airport staff? Are we checking engineers for this? We need to address mental health in aviation. These are methods and wherewithals and mediums to cope with mental stress. And this is something we need to address. We talk about mental stress and health and depression in the media business. We know how that works. We know how rampant weed and marijuana is in the media business. It's the same in the airline business, and it's worse. And something needs to be done, because in aviation, it's safety and its criticality with safety that's most important. We absolutely cannot have anybody, even on recreational drugs, fly, because that's going to impair and affect his flying abilities.
Absolutely. This is a systemic challenge that you've pointed out. Then how can this then be tackled at large? Because the laws that we have right now, as far as the NDPS Act is concerned as well, it primarily focuses on passengers or crew smuggling illicit substances, though there are some provisions regarding testing regulations for flight crew members that are enforced by aviation authorities. So how should this be tackled in a positive manner?
So passengers and transporting of it comes under narcotic substances and smuggling. It's nothing to do. This has got to do with addressing the use of recreational drugs, marijuana, and all addictive antidepressants or depressant substances that affect aviation or impair operation of aircraft, machinery, or impair your ability to perform your duty. This is something which the airline needs to address, and somewhere I think the DGCA needs to step in with not a harsh regulation. We've got regulations. We have enough regulations. Our regulations are extremely rigid, but collectively the Ministry of Civil Aviation and the DGCA need to get together with an NGO, with a bunch of NGOs, and start raising awareness on substance abuse with pilots, because a pilot is not going to come and say, oh, I'm a drug addict, or I smoke marijuana, or I'm addicted to weed. He's not going to say that, because his livelihood, his pilot license, his entire earning is compromised and affected by it. And he's not going to come and openly declare it. It's going to be behind closed doors. But we need to tackle this collectively as an industry. And this has got to be non-punitive. We cannot be punishing and penalizing and destroying pilots or flight attendants or engineers or airport staff's lives because they are addicts. We need to address the problem, not the addiction. And this is something which we've seen it before. I mean, 32 years I've been in aviation. I'll tell you, I've seen substance abuse and marijuana addiction with pilots as early as 1995. So nothing changes and nothing has changed. But it's high time to look, this is a wake-up call. It's high time we did something about it, and the onus and responsibility lies with airlines, with the government, with DGCA. And good job, kudos to Air India for taking that step and saying, let's take a stock of the situation and see how many guys are affected by this. I challenge Indigo to do the same thing. I challenge SpiceJet. I challenge Akasa. Every other airline, I challenge them to do the same thing. And if they're responsible airlines, they need to address it and do it now.
All right, sir. With that, I'd like to thank you for taking our time sharing your insights and assessment with us on NewsX. All right, viewers, on that note, we're tracking some